Today I want to show you 5 numbers how to grow your business exponentially in terms of both profit and value, delivering you what you want for your business. So these 5 multipliers, when combined, have a massive effect on the value of your business and the profit. So we've got 5 multipliers, and the combination of these 5 multipliers in your business combined have a massive effect on both its profit and its value. So we've 5 things we're going to look at are leads, conversions, sale value, gross profit, and the valuation multiplier. So just small increases to each of these multipliers has an exponential effect on the value of your business. So let's just work through a quick example on what. So let's look, assume in the first instance we've got leads of 2,000 people. This could be phone calls, it could be people coming into your shop, it could be subscribers to your website. So we're going to start with, in the first year we've got 2,000 leads, and you're converting just 20% of those. So you've got 400 sales a year. Now you've got a reasonably high-end product and the value per sale is $2,000. So we end up with 400 sales times $2,000 equals sales of $800,000. So let's go to the next step, the gross profit. Now we're going to discuss gross profit a bit later, but it's slightly different to the one you're expecting that most accountants will talk about. And then we're going to assume there's a 50% gross profit rate, but you can change these figures around for whatever you like. And so the gross profit is $350,000. Now I've assumed there's expenses in just running this business of $350,000. So they're the fixed expenses, the rent, costs of the legal framework associated with the business. So we've got this fairly small profit of just $50,000. So then we add in the valuation multiplier. Now, we'll discuss this a bit later on in one of the other videos, but the value of a business is determined by its risk, and one of the ways to look at it is just a valuation, a multiplier. And in this instance, we're going to go at the kind of lower end of the small businesses, and given the profit of this business, we're going to look at a 2 as the valuation. So the value of the business is $100,000. So let's look at what happens when we increase each of those factors by just 10%. So we're going to increase the leads, the inquiries that come into the business by just 10%. And it doesn't have to be one single thing that increases. What we're talking about is 10 1% things you can change to your business, or 20 0.5% changes that will increase the leads. And we'll discuss how to increase your leads and where you get them from in one of the other videos. Then we're going to look at increasing the conversion rate. So that's the number of sales we've got, number of leads. So we're going to increase the conversion rate from just 20% by 10%, so just an extra 2%. Now, there's a number of ways we could do that. It could be we're a little bit better at selling, or we change the value proposition around. So we've increased the number of sales from 400 to 484, but we're also going to increase the value per sale by just 10%. Now, we might do that by increasing sale price, or we could do it by cross-selling and upselling with other products. So cans, the classic example is, would you like fries with that? So an upsell position. And so we've increased our sales from 800,000 to just over $1 million. But we're also going to make some changes and become more efficient at what we're doing, and we're going to increase the gross profit by 10% to 55%. So we've increased the gross profit, and in this instance we're going to assume that expenses have increased by just 15%. And so we've got a 266% increase in the profit of the business. So it's gone from a business that really doesn't, kind of cuts its way, to something that's starting to provide something extra for your business. You can say, oh, okay, well, I can afford that extra holiday or a bit more time off. So we've got a 266% increase in profit. And because of those systems and things we've put in place in the business, we've increased the valuation multiplier slightly, because it's a slightly better business. And we've increased it from 2 to 2.5, which is still kind of getting around the middle level of most small businesses. So we've increased the value of the business to $460,000, a 360% increase. So let's see what happens if we take this a bit further, and we take it to the third year, and we've got just another 10% increase, because we're continually looking at improving our systems and our processes so that we get an improvement across all of these 5 multipliers in the system. And so we've increased the conversion rate just slightly because we've learned a few more things. We've put in place better systems and processes in relation to selling. And so we've increased the number of sales. And we've got more products that we can sell and upsell, and we can cross-sell. And we may have increased our prices because we've increased the value proposition. So our sales have increased from 800,000 to 1.4 million. And we've increased the gross profit by 10% to 61%. Now, going back to that, we'll discuss what's involved in gross profit. And as I discussed before, it's slightly different to what you'd expect most accountants would look at in terms of determining gross profit. And we've increased expenses again. So we've now got profit up to almost $400,000, 115% increase. And so now we're starting to say, well, actually, I can afford that fancier car, or I can start putting money away, or I can afford to get an investment property to offset the tax in relation to that. Because the business is improving along the way, we've increased the valuation multiplier slightly to 3, which is kind of the base level for most small businesses. So the business is now worth almost $1.2 million. So let's increase it again by each of those things by 10%. So we've now got profit of $723,000 and a increase in profit of 83%. But the business is now worth $2.5 million. So let's go through the process, because this is a continual process that you're looking at, just making small changes to each of these things, each of these 5 multipliers each year. And so we look in the 5th year, and we've now got sales have increased by 3 times to 2.5 million. But the interesting thing is we've only got twice as many sales. But the thing is, we've now got a profit of 1.2 million. It's like winning the lottery every year. And so the business, because it's now starting to become more profitable, is going towards the higher end of most small businesses, and at a 4. And so we've got a business that's worth $4.9 million. So we've got an exponential increase just by making some small changes. The important thing is we've made small increases to each of these 5 multipliers that's increased the value of the business from just $100,000 to $4.9 million in just 4 years. And over the next 5 videos, we're going to look at each multiplier in itself. How to increase your leads, how to increase your conversions, how to increase the sale value, how to increase the gross profit rate, and how to increase your valuation multiplier.